What's up, you? For today's video, with a full Crash Moves Pokemon team, we got G-Max, Volt Crash, Heat Crash, and Icicle Crash. Now, I've got Corkscrew Crash, but I can't use that because that move is actually from Generation 7, and we can't use any Z moves. I do miss Z moves a lot. Now, these moves are extremely limited, but I did come up with some really cool strategies for each one of them, and I really hope you enjoy. If you do want to check me out on Twitch, people, this is where I do all my live streams for our theme teams, Pokemon Sweep, Shiny Hunts, all the forms of salty entertainment. That is a place to be. Links in the description. Let's get into both of today's battles here. The first battle, this is against Carter, and I got some really interesting strategies because this was very, very limited. So the first things first, I'm going to be leading it off with my Copperaja, and it was a pretty interesting set. So we got our Obstagoon lead here. Obstagoon, Zigzag the Sociable. I think it was a Sociable. I think that was what it was. And I've got a Heat Crash, Stealth Rock, Curse, and Attract. Now, it's to be noted here, I've got status moves on these sets as well, but all the damage will be done by the Crash moves. The other moves were just sort of to help me out to, with my set and that sort of thing. So setting up Stealth Rocks as the third one because I thought that it may have Obstruct, and I was right, it did have Obstruct. Now it's going to be going for a Night Slash here. Night Slash doesn't do that much damage to me, but it will be doing a lot if I do hit it with a, and a Heat Crash on the Obstruct. So doing very good damage there. Obstagoon's got a fair bit of bulk to it. I've got the ability Heavy Metal, which is going to definitely help out with Heat Crash because that is all based around weight. And I've got Stealth Rock, Curse, and Attract as the other moves. The item is going to be Quick Claw, so obviously this Pokemon's not going to outspeed anything. It's very, very slow, and I ran this as a very, very bulky set with Max Health, and I gave it, I think it was actually Brave Nature, because I didn't really need to have any sort of speed or anything like that. I usually had, I think I had this one in like a Trick Room team or something like that. I just, adjusted the moveset. Now, this is pretty funny. I went for the Heat Crash here, and the Obstagoon went for Obstruct. Like, oh, that really sucks, because that would have done a lot of damage, At this stage, it didn't really matter how many defensive drops that, Copperaja actually had, because I was going to faint anyway, so I had to get another Quick Claw in a row, otherwise I was going to get destroyed. Unfortunately, it did not kick in, and Obstagoon is going to take me out. Man, that really, really sucks. It's like dangling that carrot right in front of you and taking it away at the last moment. So old Ziggy's going to get some more Shell Bell, recover this. Shell Bell, Obstagoon, quite like that. Next Pokemon I've got is Heatran. This is a pretty cool set. So we got Heat Crash, Sunny Day, Taunt, and Leah. Now, Heatran was the heaviest fire type that had Heat Crash, and it's got the ability Flash Fire, and I've got the item Charcoal, right? So first thing I want to do is set up the Scummy Day, get that sun going there, and then I can go for the powerful Heat Crash Charcoal. I mean, it's pretty powerful. So physical Heat Rate isn't the greatest in the world, so I've got Max Speed and Max Attack, and I've got Jolly Nature. I wanted to go as fast as possible. The other move I had was Taunt and Leer as well. So maybe if I was lucky enough with my typing to get off a Sunny Day and a Leer, then go for the Heat Crash in the sun with a Charcoal, it would do pretty good damage, Now, we got some more Obstructs here from the Obstagoon. This thing just used Obstruct pretty much every second turn, so my defense was continually getting lowered and lowered and lowered all the time. Now, Heatran is running a speedy set, so I know that I will be able to outspeed the Obstagoon eventually. I just have to, be able to land a Heat Crash on it, and that's the end of old Zigzag, so that's good getting to that. Unfortunately, my Copperaja fainted it, but I guess that's an eye for an eye there. Next Pokemon's going to be Primarina. At least the sun is up at this point, so I thought, well, I have actually not got a lot to lose there. Let's go for Heat Crash and see how much it does. It does really impressive damage, even though it's not very effective. And we got the Sparkling Area, and that's probably going to be the end of my Heat Train because I wasn't running any, bulk on it. Plus, it didn't have a lot of health left anyway. So bye-bye Heat Ram. So that's okay. I've got my opponent on a lower amount of health, so I thought, well, let's give the Sand Slash a try here. So Alola Sand Slash, we got Hone Claws, Hail, Icicle Crash is my attacking move, and Aurora Veil. I've got the item Chopper Berry, and I've got the ability Slush Rush. So I've got Adamant Nature, and I've got Max Speed. So once I get the Hail going, my speed will double, and then I can, spam Icicle Crash. If I need to increase the accuracy, I'll use Hone Claws. Now, unfortunately, I got one-shotted by the Primarina. I thought that I might have a low chance of actually living that, but I wanted to get the Hail up and then go for the Icicle Crash, because, if I got a flinch, I could get that damage, the flinch, and then Hail damage. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for me, so we're going to go into yet another Slush Rush Pokemon. So I've got Thunder Wave, Icicle Crash, Hail, and Substitute. I thought this is actually quite a mean combination. what you could do, right, is you go for Thunder Wave, paralyze the opponent, and then you could use the Icicle Crash. So you have a 30% chance of flinching on Icicle Crash, and then you got that chance of paralyzing as well. And if you're hiding behind the substitute, it'd be even better, right? Unfortunately, for the Prim Reader, I got a flinch on that, and the hail is going to take it out. So I guess that's a little bit of payback there for the poor little Sandslash. It will be back in the next battle. Next Pokemon is going to be Zoofriend, and it's going to be Torkoal. Now, unfortunately, Torkoal has got the Drought ability, so that's going to be the end of my hail. And it's also going to be, kind of the end of my team if I don't take it out. Unfortunately, I've lost my Flash Fire Pokemon, so I can't swap Heatran into any Fire-type moves. And we've got Dynamax Torkoal as well. So I thought my best play here is probably not going for Icicle Crash. I'm going to go for Thunder Wave. And you never know, I might be able to get a Paralyzed and go from there. But at least if I can get a Paralyzed on Torkoal, I might be able to work around it with one of my other Pokemon. At this stage, things were looking pretty bad too. So here comes the Thunder Wave. It doesn't miss, thank goodness. And we're going to Paralyze the Zoofriend. Imagine having a zoo that has a turtle that big in it. Like, that would be a big zoo. I remember when I went to the zoo once, it was actually pretty funny, right? Because I was very young and stuff and didn't realize what these things, right? So we got these two turtles, right? They're just like sort of walking along. I got a Paralyze and I stalled out the Torkoal with Sub, by the way, which is absolutely awesome. There were two turtles, or how do you say it? Turtles or tortoises, or I think they're different things. Anyway, so they were both walking very slowly, and then one sort of jumped up on top of the other. And, me being an innocent little kid, didn't really know what was going on there. But I always laughed back to myself that, they were actually, at making turtle love, and I was just staring and thinking, wow, that's actually pretty awesome. That turtle can piggyback the other one, something, innocent thought that a kid would have. But anyway, back to the battle there. We got the Arctozolt going for hail now and setting that hail up, and I completely stole that Dynamax from the Torkoal, which is awesome, and I managed to get a substitute up too, which is very, really good. So I've got the sub up and the hail flying here, and now Torkoal is going to go for a Heat Wave. He went for a Max Ooze before to boost its special attack, which is a good play there, making its hits even more powerful, So that's going to definitely be the end of my substitute, and some more hail damage here. So I know that I won't be able to take Torkoal out with a Icicle Crash, because it's not very effective, right? But I was hoping for a 30% chance of flinch or a paralysis, I thought it was a pretty good chance. Unfortunately, none of those happened, and it's going to fire a Sludge Bomb. Obviously, a little bit worried that a Heat Wave may miss, and they do have a special attack Rise as well, but I managed to live that one. But unfortunately, I got poisoned, so the next turn I'm going to faint regardless of what I do. So that was a little bit unfortunate. I could have got away with taking the Torkoal out here. Going for Icicle Crash on the Torkoal right now, hoping for that flinch. It's doing absolutely nothing, and we got that Paralyze there, so I was like, oh, that's awesome. So maybe if I didn't get poisoned by the Sludge Bomb, I still would have been able to take it out. So it turned out that, Sludge Bomb was probably the best play there. I mean, Heat Wave could have missed, and I could have still been alive, So bye-bye Arctozolt. Things are getting very, very desperate right now. I'm going to go into Pikachu, appropriately named P, because we need to go for the G-Max Volt Crash. Now, I had to achieve that with a Electric move. I'll be using a special set here. And with me using Thunder, I was allowed to use Thunder if I'd used up all of my G-Max move and had no other options left. So that was a little self-rule I had with the team. I wasn't just going to use Thunder straight up and not G-Max, that sort of thing, if you were curious. So this is a interesting set. We've got Substitute, and we've got Sweet Kiss, and we've got Thunder. And I've got the Light Ball as the item, doubling its attack and special attack. I've got the ability Static, and I've got the EV Spread as Timid Nature, and we've got Max Speed and Max Special Attack. Pretty standard EVs on Pikachu right there. Now we've got a Heat Wave coming from Torkoal. That's easily going to be able to break my sub. I feel like Sludge Bomb would have broken my sub too. Pikachu isn't a really bulky Pokemon. But with its offense now with the nasty plot up, it is going to be very, very nasty. Like, this thing is going to be hitting really, really hard. My initial strategy was to try and maybe get maybe a Sweet Kiss or a Static combination, and then set up the sub and the nasty plot. But, there was a fair bit of luck base in that strategy too, and Pikachu, kind of struggles to take any sort of hits, even ones that are resistant. So here we go, people. We're going to go for a big and we're going to go for our G-Max Volt Crash. Now, the thing about this, which is really cool too, I can actually paralyze the opponents with G-Max Volt Crash and maybe get a sub up afterwards. But at this stage, I had so much special attack now, it was going to be doing like a heap of damage. Now, I did notice in the team preview there were a couple of scary Pokemon, and if you notice back at the start, if you remember, I did set up Stealth Rock, because there were a couple of Pokemon I thought they'd be really, really good to have out in the field. So out comes Sork here. He didn't have Mold Breaker, so I want to assume that it had Sturdy, and the Stealth Rock actually got around the Sturdy, which is really, really good. So bye-bye, Sork. Next Pokemon's going to be Rayquaza. Like, well, you know, Stealth Rock's going to be good against Rayquaza. Let's go and have a go at that. So in comes Loop Loop here. That's a pretty good name for Rayquaza. I might nickname mine Loop Loop. And I went for the G-Max Volt Crash, and Loop Loop is not going to be anymore. So we're going for a Pikachu G-Max sweep right now. The next Pokemon is going to be the Lula, and it's called Cup. I'm not sure why it's called Cup. I'm trying to think why it would be called Cup for. Maybe the arms of the handles look like a cup handle. I'm not sure. I can't. If anyone could think of something. So in comes the Lula. I've got the Stealth Rock to the field, and that is going to take the Lunala out there. So that Pikachu and the Stealth Rock from the Copperaja at the start there really allowed me to get a late game sweep there. Otherwise, I definitely would have lost. Thank you for the battle card. Some interesting Pokemon, and I quite like your nicknames there. Let's get on to battle 2. This one is against Mr. Gossard, and we also have a very interesting team here. So we got a very greedy Greedent here, and I've got my Heatran lead. Now, Greedent possibly might have something to do with the berry here. I've got the Sunny Day and Heat Crash set. So I was like, well, if I can go for the Sunny Day and then for Heat Crash, should do some reasonable damage to Greedent. But it depends what sort of set the Greedent is going to be. So the Greedent is going to be setting up Sword Dance here. Hopefully they won't get too greedy and use Sword Dance more than once, but you never know. Greedent could be a very greedy Pokemon. So I'm going to go for Heat Crash here with the Sun Up, with the Charcoal, only up Hydro Shadow, and it only did half health. Greedent's very bulky. Now the Greedent's going to go for a Thief here. Now I want to assume that the Greedent had a berry, and they expected me to do over half health, and then for them to steal my charcoal or my item. Unfortunately, I guess the Greedent did get very greedy because I critted it with a Heat Crash. So that's the end of old Greedent. Next Pokemon is going to be the Grimmsnarl here. Now I was like, well, this is going to do pretty good damage too. Will Heat Crash one shot this? No. I actually might be able to get a Leer off him. It's not often you see Leer on Heatran, but we are on Pimnut's channel, and it's going to go for a Thunder Wave. So, okay, a status move. That's pretty good. I can get the Leer off, and then I could go for the Heat Crash. So getting the Leer off with Heatran, you're probably not going to hear anyone else say that ever again. And we got the Leer on the Grimmsnarl, and now it's going to go for a Flatter. So it's like a Parafusion set. So it's going to boost my special attack, and it's going to confuse me. So I don't have any special attacking moves, so, it's not going to do anything to me at all. The only special attacking move I got is with my Pikachu. So most of these are, 2 out of the 3 moves are physical. So I was still hopeful that I could get some good damage in. And then the Grimmsnarl went for a Bite. Now, Bite's got a 30% chance of flinching. So not only does the chance of flinching me, it can have the paralysis, and it's got the confusion and the flinch. So I know got critted on top of that too. So that's going to be lights out for my Heatran. Absolutely nothing I could have done there. I just got completely scummed out. Our next Pokemon's going to be Copperaja, and we got the Heat Crash again. Now, there's one Pokemon I didn't show you in the first battle, and it's actually my favorite set on this team. But it can be a little bit tricky to pull off, but I actually got to show off the set in this video, which I was very, very happy about, and that'll be coming up. So here comes the Bite from the not from the Copperaja. Imagine Copperaja biting you. What, does Copperaja actually have teeth? I think it's got like 2 teeth. Now, it'd be more like a I don't know, that'd be like a Crunch or something like that, with those big, tusks, teeth, they're super big square teeth. Anyway, the other move I had on this was Attract, so this is pure filth, right? It's Attract, Thunder Wave, Flatter, and Bite. So your chances of attacking are really, really low, especially if it has the Attract going too. So somehow I'm going to get through that, and the Grimmsnarl is going to faint there. And that's the end of the Grimmsnarl, right? Next Pokemon is going to be the Sandaconda. It's going to go for a Coil and boost its defense. I'm like, wow, this is actually a really good Pokemon, because it's going to boost its defense. And all of I've got Icicle Crash, sure, but if it gets many calls up, I may not do a lot of damage to this thing, and I'll really dislike that. So we got the Rock Blast here, and it's going to go for Rock Blast continually. It only hits me twice, and I do resist that, which is good. So I'm not really sure if it's got a ground-type move at the moment. So I just kept going for Heat Crash over and over and over again. That's the best thing I could do at this stage. Then I decided to actually swap it out here and go into Sand Status. I'm like, well, I can easily live a Rock Blast, and then I might be able to get the Hail going. So some more Rock Blasts from the Sandaconda here. It does have a +1 attack, so it is doing a little bit more than it normally would. And I get hit 3 times. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's all good. I can go for an Icicle Crash or a Hone Claws or even a Hail. Hail will do some good damage over time. I might even get a flinch here. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go... Oh, nearly knocked my drink over there. Nearly knocked my G-Fall over then. Code SALT, 10% off, people. Back to the battle. We got the Icicle Crash on the Sandaconda, and it does really good damage there. And then it used Minimize. Like, uh-oh. Now, Icicle Crash doesn't really have the greatest accuracy in the world. It's a little bit shaky, so I thought, let's pop a Hone Claws here, and let's make sure I land the last one and take this thing out. Because I don't want to Dynamax this. I can't, because I can only G-Max Pikachu. So here comes another Rock Blast here. Now, Rock Blast, even if it hits 5 times, I will be able to live that, right? I was wondering what item this thing had as well, because I don't think it actually showed. Maybe it's got King's Rock, I'm not really sure. So going for Icicle Crash, it doesn't miss, and that is going to be the end of the Sandaconda. So bye-bye, Sandaconda. Now, we got 3 more sets here. Next Pokemon is going to be Cinderace, and this is always a scary Pokemon. Like, any Fire-type moves is going to destroy me. First move the Cinderace is going to use is going to be the Endure. So it's like, okay, obviously they want to live on 1 health. What sort of move are they going to use on 1 health? Maybe it's going to be a berry, maybe it's a specific move or strategy, right? So going for Ice Crash, obviously it's going to take the Cinderace all the way down to 1 health, and it was always going to land too because of the Hone Claws. So the item that Cinderace had was going to be the Salic Berry. So it's like, wow, Cinderace is already quite a fast Pokemon, and now it's like super, super fast. So it's going to be going for a Pyro Ball here, and Pyro Ball is definitely going to take out my Sandslash. That did like 1,000,000 damage to it, so bye-bye Sandslash. In fact, Copperaja would have a lot of problems here too. I'd have to probably rely on a Quick Claw, and I don't want to do that just yet. So we're going to go into Arctozolk here, and I'm going to get outsped by the Pyro Ball. My team is actually kind of low-key, like, weak to this. I mean, you know, once again, Heatran is out of the picture. I could have swapped it in, and once that's gone, it's like, that's weak, man, it's a really big counter. So here we go. The Pokemon I didn't get to use before is going to be Golduck. At this stage, I can't implement my strategy yet. It's a Trick Floatstone Klutz set. Now, the idea based around this set, right, is you trick the Floatstone to the opponent. What does Floatstone do in a battle? It halves the weight of the opponent. Then if you use a move that's based on weight, like Heat Crash, it'll do like a lot more damage. So it's really, really cool, right? I just went for the Heat Crash in to take out the Cinderace. That Acrobatics did a lot of damage to me. So I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get the move off completely with Golduck. But if I could get the Floatstone to the Corviknight, it might work. So Corviknight is going to go for a bulk up, which is a bit of a shame because I am running a physical move, but that's okay. I still can get my strategy off here. So Golduck's going to go for the trick, and I was like, well, I might be able to get a good item from the Corviknight here. So giving the Floatstone to the Corviknight, and I got a Moringa Berry. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Moringa Berry obviously boosts the special defense by 1 stage when it gets hit by a special move. So here comes a Power Trip set. No way I'll live that, but I did get the Floatstone off, which actually is going to make a really good difference there. Next Pokemon is Copperaja. So I thought to myself, well, this has got Heavy Metal, and they've got a Floatstone. They do have +1, and Corviknight's got a fair bit of bulk to it, but this is going to do a reasonable amount of damage here. So here comes the Power Trip. Since I'm running a max health set and it doesn't have a lot of bulk ups happening there, it isn't that powerful. And here comes Heat Crash too. Very, very good damage. That was excellent damage. And then I got a Quick Claw on top of that too. So if I didn't have that Floatstone, that would have been doing like way less to it, which is really cool. But yeah, Floatstone's a very curious item too. Now, little fun fact of the day too. Say if you use a move like Autonomize, right? That'll obviously, halve your weight and that sort of thing, right? And interesting fact is, if you change a form, your weight gets reset. And there's no way of passing weight onto an opponent or yourself, either with a baton pass. Just some interesting little facts about, obscure sort of fact about weight sort of moves there. I was thinking about running or trying to do something with Autonomize and giving the, the really, really low weight to opponent, then hitting with a move like that. But, there's no way of actually doing that at this point in the game. So I thought the next best thing is to use the Floatstone combination. So next Pokemon is going to be Pikachu here, and I got to take this Corviknight out. The good thing is, right, I've already done some great damage to it, and Pikachu is running max speed, so I can definitely take this thing out with the G-Max Volt Crash, and that's going to be the end of it. So things are looking really good right now, you know what I'm saying? So that's the end of our Corviknight right there. And last Pokemon is going to be the Spectria. So like, okay, this is an interesting set. So I wonder what this is going to be. Is it going to be straight up special attacker or what? Now this was a Shadow Ball Dark Pulse Agility and Haze set. I mean, it was it was something else. The greatest part about this set is when you get a boost and then you use Hazy and stuff. That's my favorite part about this set. So anyway, we got our G-Max, it's not G-Max Spectra, Hacker Exposed, and it's a Dynamax run, right? So here it goes. Now, I know that I'm probably going to get outsped, but if I can live an attack from this thing, I can get the G-Max Volt Crash off, get the Paralyze, and then hopefully take it out. So here comes Max Darkness, does a lot of damage there, almost taking me out. I mean, Pikachu isn't exactly what you call bulky, right? And that's going to be my special defense drop, which is bad, because the next move is definitely going to take me out. So here goes with the G-Max Volt Crash. Excellent damage there, a little bit over half health, which is great. And I got the Paralyze too, which is good. And now I can outspeed the Spectra and, you know, take it out there, which is going to be really, really good. It's going to be pretty close, though, with the damage like roll there, because I'm not sure whether that's going to be min or max at this point. I was just crossing my my yellow fingers there. So go for the G-Max Volt Crash, and it leaves on one. Like, I think it might have been exactly 1 health. The merch is available, and it's going to take me out the Gumboot. Oh man, I'm salty about that one, but I'm not going to hide my dislikes. So the next battle here. Wait, we only got 2 here, people. That's it. That's the end of the game. Hope you enjoyed both of these battles right here, and I'll catch you next time. Hope you enjoyed the Crash Moves team. Peace out, people.